OTF TV gang, we definitely in the building, man. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Like, subscribe before the video start. Like and subscribe. So I'm here to talk about what Anthony Joshua needs to do to win this next fight. The second fight against Andy Ruiz Jr. Now, the first fight, Anthony Joshua definitely had a lot of elements against him. Of course, Andy Ruiz was a last-minute replacement. Boxers know that that can work in your favor or it can work against you. When you're in training camp and you're spending a lot of time preparing for your original fighter, watching fight footage and learning what to do and what not to do, pros and cons, whatnot, that's usually the majority of your training camp outside of sparring and just making sure you're physically fit, doing your cardio stuff, learning your opponent. And at the last minute, of course, his opponent was replaced and Andy Ruiz was the replacement. So now everything you didn't learn in training camp goes out the window. You have a new opponent, a person you don't have much history on. So now you're at a crunch for time and you have to reset everything you learned because you're now not fighting the original opponent that you once was. On top of that, Anthony Joshua needs to continue to work off of that jab and keep space. Andy Ruiz was the smaller fighter, shorter. And if I'm not mistaken, Anthony Joshua had the longer reach. So there's no reason why Anthony Joshua should not have been working off that jab instead of lunging in with punches like he was doing. And a lot of times when fighters are hurt, they tend to want to immediately, not hurt, but when they're hit, they immediately want to get their shot in to show the other boxer, hey, I'm not hurt and, I'm not going out like that. And I think that was what was going on, and that's with Anthony Joshua, and that's any fighter or any person. Shit, somebody hits you immediately, you want to you want to hit them back. You want them to feel that same pain that you just felt. Which leads me to my next thing. When Anthony Joshua was hurt, Anthony Joshua needs to learn how to clinch. He needs to clinch. He needs to wrap up. Not only when he's hurt, but just in general, learn how to wrap up. Wrapping up give you time. A couple extra seconds to get some deep breaths in. On top of that, the refs got to break you apart so you get a couple extra seconds, with the splitting up of fighters. All of that works into your favor. You can get some nice, strong, deep breaths in and get a little bit of your stamina back. Not only that, it gives you time to reset your mind, clear your head, and focus on the fight that's at hand. Because if you don't, when you're hurt, you're discombobulated, you don't know what's going on, you go into a panic mode, you're not reacting the right way. So Anthony Joshua definitely needs to learn how to clinch. Not only for purposes of being hurt, but sometimes a clinch can help you get your shots off. I've seen plenty of fighters, they come in, jab, clinch, wrap up, push you off, and then boom, boom, get some more shots off. It's all tactics. I mean, you might call it a dirty tactic, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're fighting, and it's not against the rules to clinch. A lot of people are talking about Anthony Joshua's physique, saying that he's still too big, he's too muscular. I don't think Anthony Joshua was too big. I think he moves around the ring pretty good. So I don't think that his muscle mass is actually a problem. And he said he was going to come in a bit smaller, maybe 8 pounds smaller than when he usually comes into the ring at. I think that'll do good. He'll have more speed. I don't really think that it dictate to his power too much. So that may be another game plan for Anthony Joshua, coming in smaller. But all in all, Anthony Joshua has the skills and the tools to beat Andy Ruiz. I think he was just out of his element, fighting in Madison Square Garden. It wasn't in his country. And his corner wasn't just, they weren't giving him enough advice, man. They weren't giving him enough advice. So hopefully, Anthony Joshua comes in and does what he needs to do to beat Andy Ruiz. But comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. It's OTF TV, and I'm out.